We tend to assume that words carry a literal, physical force, that the right sentence spoken out loud holds the objective power to strike us and alter the course of our lives. But consider two distinct people. The first is currently struggling under the weight of repeated failures. The second is moving through a period of high professional success. Now, imagine they both receive the exact same piece of advice. Try again. Look at this flowchart mapping their trajectories. We have a single input node for the phrase try again. For the second person, the vector flatlines. It registers as empty noise. For the first person, that same input serves as the catalyst that redirects their entire momentum. The variables here were strictly controlled. The speaker was identical. The syntax was identical. Even the acoustic tone of the voice was exactly the same. Since every physical and linguistic property of that transmission matched perfectly, the dramatic difference in the outcome means the actual power of influence must exist outside of the words themselves. To understand where the impact actually comes from, we have to tear down this human interaction the same way a physicist investigates an anomaly in a lab. This is the physical data transfer of speech. Sound waves leave the speaker as neutral data packets across a void, with zero inherent energy. Notice the synchronized pulse on both streams, showing the emotional intent driving the words was equal on both sides. The math forces us into a very specific corner. Influence is not a physical payload that can be delivered from one human being to another. These words are merely empty geometric structures. They remain hollow right up until the microsecond they enter the destination mind, and that mind fills them. The act of communication is an illusion. We pass these hollow structures back and forth, assuming that we have handed over the meaning itself. The mechanism doing the filling is human consciousness. In this context, consciousness operates as the active, translating architecture that builds a person's working reality. Early psychoanalysts mapped out how heavily this architecture filters the outside world. The internal state of a person's psyche dictates the color of any external reality long before the conscious brain can even process the raw data. Frankel's work highlights the critical space between an external stimulus and our response. Our psychological environment fills that space, acting as an absolute governor that dictates exactly how we will react to what we hear. This applies to the most complex human emotions. A sincere declaration of love provides healing comfort to someone securely attached, while triggering intense anxiety in someone with a highly guarded perimeter. The rule applies to fear as well. An identical set of terrifying circumstances will paralyze one demographic while acting as the propellant that drives another demographic forward. Human beings react to the bespoke, customized meaning that our current mental state constructs, rather than the raw data of what we actually hear or see. This rule of consciousness also extends across time. A specific book might sit on your shelf today and feel forgettable, but read 5 years later, that same text might provide the missing piece of a puzzle you've only just begun to solve. The text on the page remains the same, but the human mind is a fluid, constantly shifting environment. What you are capable of receiving depends on the shape of your psyche in that specific season. You are the primary architect of every influence you experience. Vocabulary, wealth, and structural authority are frequently mistaken for the primary sources of influence. True influence is the alchemy of an idea colliding with the right state of human consciousness at the perfect chronological moment. The power to change a life waits, dormant, inside the listener, long before any words are ever spoken. If you want to continue exploring the hidden mechanics of philosophy, consciousness, and human behavior, like this video and subscribe to the channel.